everyone, today I've got something really exciting planned. I'm expanding my e-commerce business and I want to bring you all along for the ride. We're going to use Jungle Scout to find a new product. But first I need to choose a category. Wow, there's a lot to choose from. I could really use some divine intervention here.
Hi.
Hi.
Eva, I've got something to help you make the right decision. This here is Jungle Scout's latest report that analyzes the 5 best and worst categories based on market competition, demand, revenue, pricing, and search trends.
Okay.
Now hang on, Eva. That report, I got it too. And let me tell you, don't let his little halo blind you from all the little fiery treasures that are hidden within those worst categories.
Okay, both of you stop. I'm pretty sure I'm going crazy here, but I'm gonna go with it, and I'm gonna listen to both of your sides. Okay, you start.
Perfect. Let's begin with one of my personal favorites, the home and kitchen category. Now, out of 24 categories, home and kitchen is the most popular to sell in, plus it also ranks as one of the 5 most shopped categories by consumers. But if we take a look at the year-over-year trends, despite a small decline in the average selling price, the overall revenue has actually grown by 63%.
Did somebody say oversaturated? Eva, you do realize that over 1/3 of all Amazon brands sell in this category, right? I mean, just look at those market share leaders. Do you really think you have what it takes to beat them?
Okay, you both make really good points, but thankfully, it looks like there's only been a 6% jump in competition versus the 16% year-over-year sales growth. So actually, demand is outpacing competition. And while I agree that these are some big names, I do like the fact that the top 5 brands only take up 7% of the overall market, which means there's definitely room for new products to come and realistically compete. I know it won't be easy, but just like with any category, I can use data to find the less crowded, underserved areas that are less competitive.
Perfect. That's exactly how you should be interpreting this data.
Whatever. Eva, let me show you what a winning category really looks like. Welcome to the world of computers and accessories. Now, you'll have to excuse the small decline in yearly sales because what really matters here is the lack of competition. At -14%, brands are dropping like flies in this category, which means you should have no problem at all launching a new product.
Yeah, except that Apple currently owns more than 1/3 of the category's market share. This plus the fact that shoppers are probably more likely to purchase directly from Apple could be the reason behind those declining sales and sellers on Amazon. Instead, Eva, I'd recommend categories with a more proven path.
Hey, aren't you the one that preaches the road less traveled by?
Hey, shut up. The next best category is beauty and personal care. This one also makes the top 5 list for both sellers and shoppers on Amazon. And again, diving deeper, it's one of the few categories where we're seeing year-over-year increases in both revenue and price. This could mean that products in this category aren't as affected by seasonality or even things like inflation.
Yeah, I agree. This market seems really stable and always in high demand, but it's also super competitive. However, weighing all the pros and cons, I'd still rather be in a category where there's a lot of room to grab decent market share and revenue than to have a limited amount of customers.
Well, if that's how you feel, then you're probably not gonna like this next one because sales in the industrial and scientific category have fallen about 6% year over year. But look on the bright side, of all 24 Amazon categories, these products have seen the highest yearly price increase, which you can see has led to a 54% jump in revenue. Now, listen, I know there's an elephant in the room and its name is Jenabio, but hear me out. Despite holding almost 50% market share of the entire category, there's only 75,000 other competing brands. And to be fair, every other category we've seen so far has been well above this number, so you kinda gotta take the good with the bad here.
Lenny, what else you got for me?
Well, Eva, with your fantastic taste in fashion, I think you're gonna love this next one, clothing, shoes, and jewelry. It's a huge hit for both Amazon sellers and shoppers. And get this, there are over 10 million products to choose from, unlike that last category. But don't let that scare you away because despite no new sellers jumping in, sales have actually spiked nearly 20% over the past year.
That's impressive. I'm actually really surprised how many women have been searching for dresses on Amazon this past year. It's got me thinking, maybe I should start selling some complimentary clothing for my brands. It could be a whole new revenue stream.
Okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea, but let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. I still haven't talked about the video game category, which, it does consistently fall at the bottom of the list for both sellers and shoppers, but
Yeah, wow, that's just great.
Okay, but there's also electronics, which has a lot of innovative products,
But,
it struggles with sales and the market is cornered by one brand. Okay, last but not least, there's CDs and vinyl, which, aside from Taylor Swift, had the biggest sales drop of all the categories in this report.
these are just some fantastic recommendations.
Hey, a little sarcastic for an angel, don't you think?
Enough already. Hit me with something good.
All right, here's one for you. Baby products. It's the 4th best category on Amazon. Big names like Graco, Pampers, and Huggies are leading the charge, and they're seeing steady growth in both sales and competition. Now, switching gears to health and household. This category is really interesting because demand has really spiked over the last year, even more than the competition has, meaning there's a lot of opportunity here, especially when you consider that none of the top 5 brands control more than 1% of the market share.
Wow, that's good to know. Are there any more categories where the market is trailing behind demand? I'd love to find something where there's room for new sellers to enter.
For sure, but I might need a little bit of help with this one.
So you're needing a lifeline already, huh? Eva, I got just a thing. Go ahead and turn to page 25. Because this next chapter explores the 5 categories where there's a big gap between what shoppers want and what's actually out there. So let's just kick it off with the luggage and travel gear category, which is absolutely killing it. It has the highest year-over-year sales growth of all 24 categories. And while the number of sellers is picking up, overall, only 4% are in the game right now, which means there's a ton of space for new competitors.
Moving on to arts, crafts, and sewing, sales here have shot up nearly 30%. Despite that, the number of sellers has actually fallen by 7% over the last year. Only 14% are playing in this space, so there's lots of room to get crafty with your business.
Next up is pet supplies, which ranks in the top 10 for both shoppers and sellers. But for shoppers, it cracks the top 5, and for sellers, it barely makes the list. So even with sales soaring here, the seller count has only bumped up by 8%. There's still massive potential in this category, especially for products that are eco-friendly, pet safe, and focus on health.
Then there's toys and games. About 20% of brands are selling here, up 13% from last year, but sales have actually dipped over 10%. Prices are down too. It's a popular category, but it is vulnerable to budget cuts, especially during tighter financial times.
And finally, let's talk about automotive. Sellers are hitting the brakes here, down about 20% over the past year, but sales? Yeah, they've actually revved up nearly as much. Prices have dropped by 4% year over year, making Amazon the go-to for budget-conscious shoppers looking to tune up their rides.
Okay, I think I've got a clearer picture of where there's opportunity and where things are just a bit too overcrowded. But if you haven't been blessed with the help from the higher powers and want to dive into this report yourself, then make sure you download it for free with the link pinned in the comment down below.